welcome back to another season of Big Girl Certified Podcast. I am B. It's your girl B. We are back. We are starting a fresh and new clean slate, okay? I know that this setup is a little bit strange, but we're gonna work with it from now on. I'm gonna try and make some adjustments as we get through the season, but this is how we're going to start. I'm just checking to make sure audio is all good because we are going to be streaming across all platforms just like before. So the YouTube family, y'all are gonna get these live videos because it's the easiest and quickest way for me to get the content up and out and for you guys to see it. And then we're also going to be streaming through the Anchor platform still. So if you guys have any like voice messages that you guys want to leave on the Anchor homepage, go straight ahead and head on over there and check that out. I just want to give a proper representation moving forward of what the Big Girl Certified brand is meaning to me and what I want it to represent for the community. We just want to make sure we're making the world aware that beauty does not fit one size. There's no one size to a beauty standard, okay? It's not one shade, it's not one size. And I mean, for all my baddies out there in the community, we just want to make them aware that just because I'm beautiful doesn't mean I don't have a brain either, right? So yes, I'm checking on this audio over here. Everything looks good. We're looking good. I haven't seen you all in forever. I hope you are well. Let me see. I have quite a lot to say. So this first episode is going to be quite long. That's okay, though. I think I'm going to try and just get this one out because God just put it on my heart to come on here and say what I had to say, let me just go off script for a second because, you have a whole script ready, but whatever. Life happens, and I just want to be the one to tell you that that is okay, okay? You can have a plan all day long for how you see something going that you're working really hard on, but sometimes you just gotta throw it all out and start fresh and scrap it and make it brand new again. So that's where we are, okay? Lots of things happen where, the schedule gets pushed back, and then you're like, man, what happened? I thought I was supposed to be bringing this thing back and better, but it's like, no, you have to go with the flow of the timing. Everything in divine timing. That's the best advice I can give before we dive into this. So I'm going to just preface this by stating this is the new and refreshed Big Girl Certified Podcast Season 1. Woohoo! Welcome back. This first episode is going to be called Jupiter versus Saturn. A little nod to the spiritual warfare that I've definitely recognized going on a lot more recently. And I'll get into the definition of what that is for all the people in the community who are not aware of what that is, because it can be represented through many different ways. It's not just the Christian meaning for it, okay? So yeah, let's just get into this to start. I'm going to be making this podcast serve as somewhat of a public diary, so it's just more so for my recollection of where I've been, what's going on now in the present, appreciating the present moment, and then just always being open to whatever happens in the future. I genuinely have always seen this podcast as a way for me to talk about topics that I really, really care about, that are important to me, and connect with people on the same kind of vibe, the same kind of frequency, the same kind of wave, So, I don't want this to be one of those things where, hey, she's saying this, she's saying that, oh, I'm gonna come around and try to argue. I'm not here to argue with anyone. You're completely open to having your own opinion as well. This is just going to be my little spin on it, my little take on it. It's my playground. So I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to state my opinion, and that's just going to be that. I don't have time to argue, okay? I love Big Girl Certified. I dearly do, to the bottom pits of my heart. For the past 2 years, this project has been on my heart heavily, trying to figure out how to bring it back and bring it better and make it stick, okay? But at no point am I going to play around with anybody. This is my truth. This is my, like, way to kind of represent what has been happening in a lot of people's realities. Let me put it like that. A lot of people's realities probably have mimicked a lot of what mine has been. So I'm just going to touch on a little bit of everything, cover it all, see how far this goes. I hope I can keep it under an hour. You guys know I'm a Pisces. I like to talk. So there's lots and lots and lots to say. But yeah, I just realized up into my current age, like, I feel like I've always had to kind of apologize for my personal opinion or like the way that I felt about something, whether it was a bit like, you know, outer rim of what most people would think or say. But it's like, no, like, so what? Oh well, too bad. I'm saying it, and I'm saying it just the way I said it, and I'm not about to argue with you on it. So anyone with anger issues, you can take that up with your mammy. I'm not the one or the two or the three. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I would like to get this season started with taking a sort of mystical walk down this matrix road that you've all been going down. Yes, this lovely thing called life, that we've all been having to deal with in such strange times. Honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really watch the news. I find that it's safer for my mental health that way. Yes, I do tap in with the news. Yes, I am aware of current events, but I do not, like, I'll hear about it. I don't go deep diving into it, okay? I don't go like down the rabbit hole per se. Every time something happens, especially now, like now that everything's shifting into this new moon in Pisces, you guys are probably gonna see some crazy stuff going on. If you know, you know, you know. So yeah, I'm not gonna linger too much on that. It's just to culminate the thought, I don't think that anyone's mother or father truly is ever fully prepared to get a child ready for what life comes with, right? Like, no matter what circumstance you were raised in, a two-parent family home, a one-parent family home, no parents at all family home, you know, you might have been raised by your grandparents, you might have been adopted, like who's to say whatever circumstance you grew up in. I just don't think, like my mom always said, kids don't come with a rule book, okay? They don't come with any kind of guidebook to teach you the proper way or which way to get them ready to experience this matrix. So I think that when talking about what we're going to talk about today, I don't want it to kind of step on anyone's toes. It's just, once again, a personal representation of my own truth, the things that I've experienced up into my lovely age, my 30s. Yeah, this is just going to be a culmination of, I guess, how to protect yourself in situations where you find yourself experiencing spiritual warfare, even though you may or may not be aware of what it is, what's going on. I'm gonna kind of just lay it all out. Different scenarios where you might be able to call it out and see it better for yourself, so things can kind of start to make a little bit more sense in life. So I want to definitely preface by saying the message that I was getting a lot this past week. Y'all know that movie, I think it was that Will Smith movie, I Am Legend. Yeah, that was the reference that I keep getting. So I don't know. Yeah, like, I'm trying to figure out how I can explain the spiritual warfare bit of everything is kind of, from a Christian stance, I guess it would be the angels and demons, right? Like, that's what the spiritual warfare is in Christian viewpoint. But for all the rest of us, who knows, spiritual warfare represented in reality could simply be someone spreading rumors about you. It could simply be your brother, like, you know, not speaking well on your name and like coming out and making a situation worse for you than what it needs to be. Or it could be a friend who sees you doing well in whatever you're doing, your passion in your life, and secretly like holding some kind of stink eye opinion about it, you know, trying to keep it under wraps. It could be a simple thing as like your mother or your father, you know, obviously wanting the best for you at any turn, but at what point does it turn to like a toxic kind of scenario where you're impeaching then on my freedom and freedom of choice of what I want to do with my life? Yes, you gave me life, but it is my choice of what I want to do with my life. I'm just giving out random examples. I'll touch on each one a little bit more, but I just want to make it clear that it doesn't always have to be this whole in-depth thing of angels and demons and whatever else going on. If you guys hear a lot of noise, don't mind my cat. He is here as well. Everyone say hello to King Louie. I've definitely put him on the page a couple of times. He is my new little cat buddy. But anyways, before we really tap in, I just want to make sure that everyone is going ahead to hit the like button, show me that you're here, that you're ready, that you're here and present. And then also, if you can, hit the subscribe button here on the YouTube family down below. I'm also going to be bringing back the Big Girl Certified merch. So if any of you want to take part in the Big Girl Certified movement, be sure to check out the merch at my Linktree. It's just Linktree/Big Girl Certified. I'm Big Girl Certified everywhere. So just, yeah, go ahead and click follow on all of those buttons because we are definitely going for a ride. I am also opening the Patreon page up again. I know it was set up and then I closed it, but I'm bringing it back. So Patreon will be back and open as well for all donations. Any of you who donate, I am forever grateful for you. And I hope that all of those blessings come right back to you tenfold, okay? Amen, ashe, namaste, thank you. So let's get into this. Many of you have probably already been on the Big Girl Certified train since the beginning. I think, like I said, it was probably 2 years ago now. So if you haven't been, regardless, I'd like to welcome you. Okay, welcome back. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you probably came across this lovely audio message, and it was meant for you. Trust me, it was meant for you. It has not found you by any random mistake. You probably have been through many, many trials and tribulations, a lot of trauma, okay? Experiencing this current 3D reality that we're living in. I am right there with you. And I'm sure you probably at some point been labeled as some kind of oddball out, just a little bit different, not really following the status quo, always knowing you want more for your life, not really knowing where to go with it, what to do. You know, I don't have all the answers, but like I said, God has put it on my heart to come on here and say what I have to say up until this point because it's helped me get to just even still be standing here, being, you know, all one and complete with myself to talk to you guys about this stuff. So yes, I am right there with you, and I'm so happy once again that you found this space. I imagine if you're anything like me, people have probably come into your life in different shapes, different colors, different forms, but somehow they all end up treating you the exact same way, right? Regardless if they're people that you just meet on a random occurrence, or they're people that you show up and, you know, they're like acquaintances in the work arena, coworkers, whatever, family members, whatever it may be. I can honestly say it doesn't matter. Energy is energy, you know? Energy is energy, vibes are vibes, and you know what I mean by that. Someone can look completely different from another person and still carry the same kind of energy. So that's kind of where I'm tapping into at this point with it. You can experience the same cycles in life by not recognizing that pattern of the same energy showing up. So if you're with me, you're with me here. I want to make sure everybody's still on the same page. We're not getting lost from anywhere. You can, so let me put it like this. Even if they're the ones close to you, they could have possibly judged you. If they didn't know certain bits or pieces about you, whatever, they could have possibly manipulated you in some way because they did recognize something about you that you didn't recognize yourself. They could have deceived you. They could have lied to you. Any little thing, honestly. And you just want to turn around and pretend like nothing ever happened. So that's where I'm at with this. It's like, you have to start being more responsible for the way that energy shows up in your own life. You can be the most love and light person, and let me say, I have been. I have been very, very giving and very, very kind to people, and it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. They will still try to show up and bring towers into your life, unexpected circumstances. It's like, where they do that at? No, that's not the energy I'm given. So why am I expected to receive it, right? Like I said, I've experienced this in all different types of arenas. So I'm going to specifically touch base on the different ones, but in relationship more so, I guess I'll say it like, oh, people will say they did those things to you, like your partner lied to you, your husband or wife lied to you, they cheated, whatever. People be like, oh, there's something wrong with you for wanting to stay with them, or there's something wrong with the situation for why you even put yourself in that situation, kind of is the way people would treat that. And I honestly just be like, no. You could have had the most honest intentions for that person. And just because you showed up in an honest and open way and then it wasn't received properly by that other person, it doesn't mean that you're the one at fault. No, that's not how we're about to play the narrative, because from my point, this matrix would honestly have you believe that they don't like you for the littlest types of reasons, and it doesn't have anything to do with you. Let me just start right there. The way that energy shows up in your life can be controlled. You can control that, yes, but you can't control the actions of others. All you can do is handle your reaction to it. All you can do is make sure you're still the person who shows up best for yourself at the end of the day. You're happy with the way that you handled your part of it during your day, okay? So let me just start there. Yeah, back to what I was saying though. There could be so many different reasons for why people choose to treat you like that. They can honestly have some type of issue with the way that you dress, the way that you talk, the way that you move, the way that you interact with others, the way that you do this, but whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's all the same. Honestly, they're just probably intimidated by your light. I'm going to tap into what I mean when I say intimidated by your light. If you're, once again, anything like me, you have no problem speaking your mind, okay? You have no problem calling out the BS when you see it. You have no problem, right, confronting an issue when it appears its ugly head, because I'm the most unconfrontational person ever. I honestly don't seek it, but when it's brought to my attention, oh yes, I will handle it. I will nip it in the bud and we will discuss it. I don't leave anything just lingering out in the ethers for me to be like, okay, this energy's weird, I'm not gonna pay attention to it. No, I pick up on everything, so I'm gonna address it. I think that, yeah, once they realize how bold and how bright your light is, it's like, man, that is some intimidating stuff, right? I'm trying not to curse so we can keep this PG on all platforms. I think I've been doing good. We're only 20 minutes in, so let's keep our fingers crossed this goes on well for the rest of the time we're here. Yeah, I just think that when you're able to do the things that not many other people are able to do, it becomes more of a danger in some people's eyes, right? It's more of a threat. A light being with consciousness that's been brought back spiritually, then speaking, right? It's probably terrible, like absolutely terrifying to those people, to the powers that be. I'm using so many air quotes for the people who are only listening to the audio. But yeah, it's like you should just know, regardless of however those people treated you, like you are not alone. Okay? If you're tuned in, tapped in, and turned on all the way up mentally, then I know you know what I'm saying. We have returned. You're not alone. You've never been alone. You should know that first and foremost. Even in your darkest days, you've always had a light shining upon you. That light has led you and kept you safe all the way up until this very moment right now, where you're sitting here listening to the frequency of my voice. Okay, you are so, so special. And I need you to know that you are a sweet soul. No matter what comes next in our future days, I just want you all to know that you are blessed and highly favored, still to be even breathing this good ass prana, okay, on Mother Gaia here. I already cursed, whatever, strike one. So yeah, I just want you to always wake up each day reminding yourself, like whoever you pray to, God, Allah, universe, thank you for waking me up this morning. Just say that. Like, I don't care if your kids are screaming at 7 a.m. before school. I don't care if your mom's like hollering at you to hurry up and shower before you have to go to school. I don't care if, your friends want to hurry up and meet you for an early brunch. Whatever is going on, be sure to always give yourself and say gratitude. Give yourself the time in the morning to give gratitude for being even still here, okay? Because if you do that just like repetitively, even for like 7 days a week, I swear your reality starts to become that much brighter, that much more polished, that much more sparkly, okay? It really brightens up your energy. It lifts the mood so that even if you encounter these people throughout your day, you're able to brush it off your shoulder like it's nothing, because you've already given grace. You've already given yourself grace and the space to say, hey, I don't care what I encounter on this day, I'm still going to be grateful because I was given another opportunity to be here. So I'm bringing this up all to say this is kind of how it started for me, tuning in to being grateful. What is it meaning to have a gracious outlook on life, right? No matter what is going on in your current reality, it was my little things each day that I started to switch that made like a whole compound difference in my entire life. And I mean, it can honestly change your entire reality over time. It can switch like that with a mindset shift. That's all. That's it. So, I mean, tapping back into these energies that just don't really vibe right? Sometimes, I don't know, these people can be complete strangers. They can be the ones closest to you. Once again, like I said, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, grandma, grandpa. Yes, I've seen grandparents too. Your friends from college, your friends since you were in diapers, colleagues at work. I mean, if you just started a job, trust me, them colleagues, yeah, them too. Anyone that you simply met along this life, like this path in life, they all probably had one thing in common. And like I said, it's not anything from you. It's just them recognizing, hey, you have different qualities than what I have, and I don't really know how I feel about those different qualities in you. I don't really know. Just because I don't understand them, I don't think that I should trust you. I don't think that I should like you. I think that because I don't understand you, I'm just going to be completely against you. Yeah, that's the energy that I'm talking about. Wanting to more so question the essence of who you are rather than believing it for what it is right there in front of their face. They'd rather do all that they can in their power to try and knock you down a peg, right? This is probably, in my opinion, the biggest poison in this reality. And if you're a Rick and Morty fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This dimension, okay? This is like the biggest poison to me because it's like, why can't you just appreciate someone for who they say they are when they're showing up as their most authentic self? Just because you don't understand it, just because you've never seen it before, it doesn't mean it's fake. In fact, that's like the biggest projection ever. I haven't been to every freaking continent on this earth yet, but I can't say that there's something wrong with Australia just because I ain't ever been there before. Like, that's goofy to me. I'm sorry. That's a real goofy mentality. Like, so I'm just going to cut right through to it. Spiritual warfare. It comes out of kind of a place where you already recognize your shadow self. You've already tapped into the other sides of yourself. So you're aware that different things go on in this reality, right? You're aware and you're tuned into yourself. But what difference can it make in your life when you start to cut out the noise? You start to cut out all the distractions. And I mean, once you do that, honestly, how many hours can you get back in your day? How much time can you save trying to piece this and that together for everybody else and just really like wipe it all clean and focus and zero in on yourself? That's what a lot of people have issues with, right? I don't think I've ever been a person to really have an issue with focusing on myself. It was just easier to go along with the distractions that were always being laid in front of me. Like, you know, the type of people that feel like it's easier to help someone else with their problems rather than focus on your own. Yeah, that was me. But in growing up, once again, you grow up and you start to recognize, hey, that's part of my shadow side. Why do I feel the need to help this person more than I'm helping myself? Just because this is my friend from way back when, they should understand, hey, I need to take some time for me. Mental health is real. I don't think people get it. They don't really get it on the inside, deep down. Like, trying to be there for this person, that person, whatever, giving all of your love and light to this person and that person and spreading yourself thin like that, that's what makes people really want to tap out. That's what makes people want to call it, like, you know, quits and quit from life. Like, I hate to bring it up, but trigger warning, like, yeah, that'll really make you want to, like, go somewhere and get a heck away from people, okay? Constantly being tugged on your energy, even if you're anything like me, you don't need to be in the closest vicinity of someone to feel them trying to tug on your energy. That's the type of stuff that I'm saying. So I get it. Everyone has bad days. Everyone has down days. But when you're going down the path of life in this matrix, it is so important that you should never run from your own wounds. You shouldn't be afraid to face your own wounds. Yeah, that's how I'll put that. I didn't have it quite worded right down here on the script, but facing your own wounds a lot of the time has to encompass facing back to your childhood. Once again, I don't care what circumstance you were raised in. You could have had like the easiest, kind of most easy breezy lifestyle once again in a 2-parent family household. I mean, I know that everything's easy breezy just because you have 2 parents, but it's easier for someone compared to someone that just has, 1 parent with them. Or you're just raised by grandparents who are mostly older and tired all the time. The dynamics are different, but the result can all ultimately end up the same. I'll say it like that. Sorry, guys, I need some water. Hold on. Okay, back again. So, I feel like, reflecting back on childhood, I think that personally, it was never meant for me to fit in anywhere. I was one of those kids who was totally mentally prepared for the whole social arena, like being out as a child. My mom fully prepared me. Like, yeah, kids can be little SHITs, okay? They can. They really, really can. They can be so mean. But it's like it was never on my agenda to fit in with a particular type of group or social club. Like, I probably would have wanted to fit more in with like the nerds in school, but even I was too nerdy for the nerds, if I can say that. Like, what? I was just always bopping to my own beat, right? So once again, as I got older, like, I realized, girl, you're not fitting in with nobody, really. Like, the white kids don't like you, obviously, because you black. The black kids say you talk too white. Whatever it is, it was always something. I was just one of those people, I guess. I don't know. But I think that when you grow up out of those kind of dynamics, you go to college, or say you don't go to college, say you just leave high school and go straight to a job, whatever. I think that you start to have a name for those kind of energies that show up. So for me personally, I'm really into like action movies and stuff. I kind of tend to call them decepticons. I'm not going to lie to you, like in my inner voice. You know how you have that inner voice in your head that like always says the things you really want to say in every single situation? Yeah, so I'm just going to let you all be clued into what I call them. I call them decepticons, mostly because they're filled with nothing but deception, lies, and manipulation, okay? These decepticons are the liars and the deceivers around you. And if I just explained to you what a Decepticon, I'm sure there was one person that just popped right up in your head as I said it. I'm sure everyone's got, that kind of energy around them. So we're here to smoke it out today. We're here to smoke them out. I'm not here for no smoke. I'm here to clear the room out with the smoke, okay? Like, let's just be clear. I don't think that these manipulators, these deceivers, these gaslighters, whatever you want to call them, I think that whatever role they fit your life from this list that I'm about to go down here below, I think you're going to start to realize what I mean when I say it doesn't matter how they show up in their physical form, what they look like in particular. The energy can carry, say you leave one relationship, right? And I'm talking about like the worst relationship you've ever been in your entire life. You leave it in the past, you walk it away, you're free. Why the very next time you go to date again, does that next person literally have the same behaviors and patterns as the last person that you just left? Like, that person can not even look like them, but still have the same maneuvering, like the same way they talk, the same way they do little things, like even drinking water. Like, they can do it the exact same way. I don't know. I'm just trying to give an example. The energy is the energy. I will keep saying that, okay? And if you can't start to pick up on that, that's why little pieces in your life are going to seem off. It's going to just seem off because you're simply repeating the same cycle. Now, let me see where I am on this script list here because I was getting a little bit off kilter. So, yes, the energy is the same no matter who it comes attached to. I think that the reason I really originally started calling them Decepticons is because by the end of it all, no matter what the situation was it a friend, a family member, a coworker, a relationship, whatever, it all came out to be that they can't handle who you're meant to be. They probably see in you more than you see in yourself at this current time, so that's why they're treating you in this specific way. And I mean, the only way that they could possibly not handle who you're meant to be, it's because they're not stepping into their own purpose. They're too concerned with what you've got going on, beloved, okay? They're too concerned. They're always standing over your shoulder. They're always peeping around, trying to see what you've got going on. No matter if the towers are crumbling in their own life, it doesn't matter what's going on around them. They're literally always going to tune in and tap into what you're doing. And I promise you, you've also probably thought of another person. Just as I see this, you probably thought of another person's face. So now we're starting to recognize the signs and symbols of what I mean when it comes to spiritual warfare, what these Decepticons are when we're looking at our own lives, what do they represent for us, why are they here? So I'm going to start just skipping along here through a little bit of this because I've already said that and I don't want to be repeating myself. We're just going to simply go straight into the examples, okay? So, yeah, tapping in right now, I hope this will help you start to sift through all the Decepticons and crazy cakes in your life moving forward. I hope that these tips that I provide will help to start ground you along your path. I hope that they start to move you forward in a more positive energy. And I mean, you know, by the end of me tapping into each one of these examples, I'm just going to once again kind of give some tips on what you can do to protect yourself moving forward, because it's going to be a bumpy ride, guys. And I just want you all to know that you are not alone. Once again, you are here, you are loved, and you're very supported, okay? So let's start with family members. I've got a whole page that I can say about family members, but let me just start as most simple and basic as I can. This would probably be like the hardest thing to go through, honestly, of all the scenarios, because you really have to tap into your inner reality and realize what you've experienced all the way back to your childhood. Once again, a lot of people have an issue with just that first step, even of tapping into what was my childhood really like. I mean, like I said, my mom always said, you know, my mama, she kept it real with me. That's a real lady right there. I love that lady, okay? She kept it real with me. She said, kids do not come with a rule book. There's no guidebook for how the proper way to rear a child up. I mean, especially now, these times are exceedingly crazier than when I was born. So, yeah, I get that. I totally get that. But what I'm saying is, for those of you who have been faced with the difficult situation of completely separating yourself from any kind of family dynamic that you've grown up in or been around or whatever, I wholeheartedly sympathize and empathize with that. I can see exactly why you thought that was the best move for you. You did it for you and no one else but you. And I got mad respect for that, all right? Because you saw that it was better for you to separate from the blood that you grew up with, better that way to keep your mental health in check. And like I said, not everybody, needed to go to those extremes. But speaking from my experience, I can see how that can work out better for some people than others. Me, myself, though, no, that wouldn't be a choice for me. I love my family. I have a very small family that I come from. Some people have larger families. That's cool. But what I'm saying is, anyone who's blessed with the opportunity to bring a child into this world, I think that's like God's greatest gift, okay? God's greatest gift is a baby, a blessing no matter what circumstance they come in through, no matter how the situations was, whatever. It's just always reminding yourself This blessing is here, and all you can do is do the best you can to take care of it. So when you're either growing up in this completely sheltered environment, or if you grew up in a place where no one really gave a crap what you did, you just had all this free range to do whatever since the beginning of time that you can remember, it doesn't matter. Like, even if you attended school, were homeschooled, whatever, I think that, once again, the dynamics of the situation don't matter because the fallout can always end up being the same. It's like you can grow up with that feeling of inner loneliness, I guess, in both scenarios, whether you have a whole bunch of siblings around you or you're an only child. You can still feel those feelings of inner sadness and loneliness, right? And I think that does kind of translate until you get older as well. You start growing up in these different dynamics, like from where you were as a kid, but mentally you grow up, you still feel that. And I guess people call it trigger warning, right? You're triggered as an adult by being reminded of that from when you were a kid. So, like I said, once again, if you were sheltered too many hours up at the house, always grounded, stuck in your room, whatever that was, or if you were the type of kid to always be sneaking in and out of your grandparents' house. I mean, whatever, sneaking into girls' houses late at night, like whatever your reasoning was for however it was when you grew up, I feel like that ultimate sensation, the ultimate thing that you were seeking out at that point in time could have been more of a, hey, I'm going to reach out to all these external energies around me so I can fill up that internal void of loneliness that's like still sitting there. And I'm going to reach out to all these external energies. I'm going to pull from all of them to just fill me up so I don't have to feel any of that. But you're still not addressing it, right? You're still not addressing the internal issue. So by this time when you're older and you realize that you're doing this still in your adult years, it's like, that's when people want to tell you, hey, just go get therapy. Like, you work it out like that, you'll be fine. No, honestly, I am the biggest advocate for therapy. I'm the hugest advocate. Like, anyone who asks me anything about this life, any of my friends who come to me and ask me about any scenario, yeah, I will definitely give them a number to find some therapy, okay? Depending on the scenario, ask any of my friends. I honestly am that person. But sometimes when it comes to family, I feel like these situations ain't no amount of therapy that could fill the void of that. It's like putting on a Band-Aid that has no more stick on it. Like, you keep putting on this new Band-Aid that you just got from Dollar Tree or whatever. You pull it out of the box. It's a brand new box of Band-Aids. You trying to cover up a scratch or whatever you got, and you open up the Band-Aid, you stick it on, and you realize it's not sticking anymore. It's not sticking anymore because you're the only person. You're the only person doing the work. You're the only person putting in the work, right, to heal the wound. And it's like, no, you still have these family members around you that I feel like, because they're resistant to therapy, they're resistant to inner healing, the inner work, they never took the time out to figure out what that means and what it requires, right? So you're just putting on a Band-Aid, keep applying it, and it's like you have to deal with this frustration of it not sticking. It's like, man, every time I go to heal myself, it's like, no, here comes another trigger scenario, just because I'm trying to maintain this relationship with a cousin or a brother or sister or mother that you have this friction with every time you guys come around to each other. So once again, I'm saying all this to say, I guess my best resolution for handling Decepticons in the family, if you're not fully prepared to cut all ties, simply just limiting the amount of access that you give, right? And I mean, honestly, that's the solution for majority of these examples that I'm going to give, because I'm going to run through the rest of these pretty quickly. But this was the main one that I wanted to touch on, because I feel like in these times that we're in, you know, it's strange and everything with people getting sick, and you always want to be there and be around to see them and check on them and just show up for your loved ones, right? You still have to always tune into self, make sure that you are in a good mental state before you give from your cup, right? Your cup could be overflowing with love and you know, care and desire to see people in your life in a better situation. But if you're trying to give from an empty cup, if your cup's like overflowing, then all of a sudden you've given so much, it's like empty. Now, what do you have left to give to yourself? No, what you have to do is give to yourself first, and then you give to others through the overflow. That should always be the pattern, right? So you don't get stuck in these cycles of life that I'm talking about. It's like, honestly, I'm realizing a lot of this is more of like people who don't respect your boundaries, bro. Like, family probably has the hardest time respecting their boundaries, right? Because they really just care about you and they want to see you thriving and living your best life and doing every single thing that you want to do. So yeah, it's just better to feel the energy, know where it is, and better yet, know how to limit the access to it so that you're not exposed and constantly being triggered over and over and over again by the same relationship that you're trying to maintain, just simply because, you know, they're family. So the next thing is friends. This can be in the form of someone you recently met a couple of days ago, once again, all the way up to someone you grew up in diapers with. I really don't care. It can be like as simple as they became your friend off of one quick little thing that you guys had in common. Honestly, that's how friendships are formed. You see common similarities between each other's interests, and you're like, hey, I want to mold and tend to this relationship to make sure that it's maintained. Cool. That's cool. But I want to really get to the point of how friendship is supposed to be this equal reciprocity, right? It's like, I share with you, you share with me, and that should be the end. C'est la vie, right? Equality and reciprocity. That's what I'm calling this section, because honestly, along this road called friendship, I've seen it one too many times too often. You can say like one person possibly found their purpose quicker than the other in this lifetime, right? And before you even know it, the other person in the friendship recognized that this is what this person is supposed to be doing this whole time. So why, if we're supposed to be 101 committed to seeing each other glow up in life and be our best selves, why on God's given earth would you try to step into my reality and put like a wrench into where I'm going, what my destiny is? Why would you ever try to derail me off course, is what I'm saying. When you're calling yourself a friend, that means you're doing everything to keep that person that you love and care about held as high up as possible, right? Especially with women dynamics. Like, you're supposed to be keeping your sister's crown up. You're supposed to be lifting your fellow woman's, keeping her crown up. You know what I'm talking about? So why, I don't care if you're friends for 3 days, 3 years, friends from college, whatever. Why would you ever wish to see someone not attaining the goals that they set out for themselves? I mean, it's a real reality that someone at any point in your life has possibly tried to throw some dusty wrench into your plans, right? Whether you noticed it right off or noticed it later on down the line, I don't really care. I don't care whenever I recognize it. You can get ghosted at any point, as far as I'm concerned, because my purpose, my whole being, my whole reason for coming back here, you will never stop me. I will never stop, okay? Like, I don't care if you're friend, family, whoever you are, whatever. I cannot be stopped. So with that mentality in mind, that's just the way that I handle it, right? Once I see your Decepticon ways in a friendship, it's denzo, it's dead, it's done to me. I can't even look back and think back to remind myself whatever was before, because I see it too. It's like once your eyes are open, you can't close them, right? So, I mean, yeah, it's like not even about me being like a rude person, or like not caring and not being sentimental or like emotional about the situation at all. It's just simply, what type of friend are you? Let me put it like that. Because the type of friend that I am, you can call me and say randomly, hey, one day, hey, I want to work on this weight loss goal. And then I'm going to say, okay, what's our exercise plan for this week? I'm the type of friend you could tell me, hey, I need somebody to watch my kids. I can't even pay the nanny this month. I can't do it. I'll watch your kids. Like, I'll literally help you with the kids, bro. Like, if you're the type of person or friend, I'll say, who needs help moving, right? I will help move all of your stuff, even if nobody else shows up. That's how real of a friend I am. I will be there for you. But it goes back to the beginning of what I was saying in the beginning of the episode. At what point do you keep giving and giving and giving of them to yourself, giving out all of your love and light energy to all, spreading yourself so thin, the thinnest layer of butter on your buttery ass piece of toast, okay? Spreading yourself that thin. What do you do with what's left over? Like, you have nothing else to give to yourself. So I don't think that friends realize that. I don't think that, hey, I'm not the only friend that's requesting things of this person. This person actually probably has like 5, 6, 10 or other friends, right? And then aside from friends, they've got their family that they really need to be tending to the most. So why do I feel so self-important and self-righteous that I need to do everything in my power to once again try to derail this person from doing what they need to do and attaining their goals, simply because I haven't found a way to deal with my own inner reality? Yeah. No. Because I promise you, people don't even realize how taxing it is just to keep spreading your energy that thin just to see them smile. Save yourself from that situation, okay, buddy? Do yourself a favor. Yes, absolutely. Coworkers. I'm really gonna just start running through the rest of this because there's not much left. And I appreciate anyone who's still here listening. You all know I'm forever grateful for you. This is, once again, one of the longer episodes, and we'll try to keep it to 30 minutes each moving forward. In the work arena, you can honestly find quite a few different ways the Decepticon behavior can be called out. I go into work, I don't care what job I've had, whatever kind of position it was, whether it was full-time, part-time, contract job, whatever. I'm here to do my job. I'm here to do what I need to do, accomplish the goal, and leave for the day, right? That's what it's supposed to be. That's why you show up. That's why you get a job. You do what you're supposed to do, you get your money, and you leave. That's the whole point. So it's really like beyond me. It blows me whenever I see these situations in the work arena. You can have, regardless if this principle is understood, abided by you, you show up every single day on time. You do what you're supposed to do every single time. Each time there's a project due, you show up on time. You're doing everything to the T. Or you're the type of worker that slacks off, whatever, doesn't do his job, and ultimately end up getting fired within 3 days. Whatever kind of situation it is, I'm sure you've all probably seen some kind of little Decepticon behavior coming from coworkers, your boss, your manager, your supervisor. I don't care if it's even the coworker who claims to be cooler than all the other coworkers, okay? I have literally seen everything. There is the possibility that you could be putting your best foot forward each day and they will still find something to complain about you for. Still. Simply because, once again, it's this inner mentality. Hey, I don't understand you. I've never met anyone quite like you. I can't really read your energy either, so I'm going to say it's safest, best for me to just get you up out of here. It's going to make me feel so much better to make sure you're not around tomorrow. So that can encompass a plethora of things, of ways that they try to do this. I mean, you know, spreading gossip around the workplace, you know, working on projects together and making it look like you're the one that's incompetent to trying to be able to figure out what to do to get it done. Yeah, just any little thing the Decepticon can do to mentally try and rain on your parade. Like, why? I can't give you a reason for why. It's just simply, I don't know. It's like this competitive energy. And once again, like I said, I've experienced it more from females as I am a female, but I'm fully aware males do it too. Okay, I'm not some lost bird out here. I am just speaking from a female representation, like perspective. Once again, I'm fully aware that men experience these same things in the workplace. In fact, from my experience, it's probably even been worse for Black men from what I can hear. Like, man, y'all could be going through it, but I'm not even going to tap into that anymore. I don't even want to tap down that road. It's just simply that once you recognize the energy is coming up in that specific coworker that's like, hey, I'm going to try and do everything I can to make you look bad. Or it could even come out in your manager. What if you have a supervisor or manager that you're like new to the company and they recognize, hey, this person's doing their job a little too well. This person's possibly able to do my job better than I can. What do you think they're going to do when it comes between the choice of choosing over you and them? They're going to pick themselves every single time, which is completely understandable. But it's like, why do you even have to have this kind of outlook on it like that, where I'm trying to be in competition with you? Why can't we be in the same work arena doing the same thing, right? Yeah, I got my little sauce to it the way I do it, you know, but hey, it's still getting done. It's getting done the same way you're doing it, the same way I'm doing it. It's getting done, right? It doesn't need to be any in competition in that way. It doesn't need to be. I'm sorry. There's just no excuse. You're there to get a job done. You're getting the job done. That's all it should be about. So this leads me to my last and most common, I guess, example of how a Decepticon can rear its ugly head in your life. All right. I want to make sure you guys are not forgetting to hit the like button down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know if this message resonated in any way, shape, fashion, or form. I will be back next week with another topic, so don't you worry. It's not going to be as heavy as this topic, but once again, have to get the message out when I hear it's time to get the message out. I'm very, very dutiful in that way, so I will relay the message. Yeah, just leave me a comment down below. Let me know how it resonates in your life, what kind of situations you guys have experienced. I mean, even if you're going through the same thing right now. I know a lot of crazy situations came up. Like, there was the largest amount of divorces that came out of the pandemic. I'm aware of that too. So, yeah, just hit me up down below and let me know what you guys have gone through, okay? Because once again, you're not alone. Never. So, relationships. I know this one was meant to probably be a longer one for today, but I am going to cut it down as short and simply as sweet as possible, okay? With relationships, I think that you never want to feel confined by someone else's negative behaviors. You never want to feel like stuck in this toxic energy that was created by another person, because it wasn't even created by you. So why would you want to sit in that and linger in that, right? So when it comes to any of my exes, I only ever had one question, and it was simply just ever, why would you want a doppelganger copycat version when you have the real thing? And honestly, I think it was more mind-boggling for both of us. The fact that none of them could answer that question. None of them. I mean, yeah, because it's like, how could you love someone so deeply and fully and truly say that you mean it, and then the other person's just simply looking at you like you're some type of competition? Like, what? As if there's something to be jealous of you for. And I mean, I deeply, ladies, if you are out here in a relationship with a man who sees you as competition of any kind, child, you need to go running for the hills right now. You need to pack your bags up. You know, if you got your little babies, pack your kiddos up, okay, and get up out of that situation. Because there's no way on this God's green earth, okay, God's green earth, that I will ever try to be in competition with a man, let alone any other female. I am not your competition, boo. All right? And I mean, like, once again, you don't want to be in a situation where you're seeing these energies coming out in your mate, and it's like, no, that's not your boyfriend anymore. That's not your husband. That's not your wife. That's not your bae. That is now a Decepticon in your life that you need to deal with, or they will run you into the ground. Leave you in the lowest of low situations before you even have the chance to blink with a second thought of an eyeball, okay? So, yeah, it's that energy rooted in trying to accomplish one goal, and that's just knock you down a few pegs, right? Because now you're up here on your high-flying horse, feeling great, and this beautiful relationship dynamic that you've created, whatever, only to find that you've been gaslit, love bombed up to this high pinnacle point in this relationship, and like, oh no, here comes my Decepticon mask. I'm ripping it off. Now, 3 months into the relationship, 6 months into the relationship, a year into the relationship, however long it takes to get you real nice and comfortable like with me. And no, now I'm gonna rip it off. Now, hi, I'm the Decepticon. Hello. Like, that's what they be looking like. Like, accept me. I'm here now. You're stuck with me. Like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not, sir. No, I'm not, sis. Okay, ma'am, whatever, whoever it is. Once again, this is not just one gender. It can come in all forms, shapes, colors, whatever. It's energy. That's all we're talking about. So, yeah, I think that with relationships, it's just this point where you have to start to realize what's best for you compared to what's best for that other person, whether they're speaking up truthfully on their truth or not. You always have to stand 10 toes down on what you believe and what you know is true and what you know is right. What's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. That is the only thing in between that is the truth. Your truth will always set you free. Okay? So, yeah, I could say so much more on this topic. I mean, man, like, you could just be in this high-flying vibe of being so grateful that you think you found the one. And I mean, how many times in this lifetime can you say that you found the one, or that anyone has ever experienced what it feels like to find the one, and then just be put strictly out of your misery? Like, I'm gonna call it misery because it was a dreamland anyway. It wasn't real. That, yeah, like you're living in this bliss all by yourself because the other person has a completely different agenda for how they see you playing a role in their life. You cannot be afraid to speak up, stand up for what you believe, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. Yeah. Well, I will say this one more thing because I think this is important for the younger generation who listens to me. I know there's older people too, but sis, little sis, this is big sis talking to you, okay? Be careful. I don't care if it's women, men, because they all do it. You need to keep your eyes peeled, okay? Because you know how Robin Hood was running around acting like he was a vigilante for the people and bringing upon good times for the land, blah, blah, blah. Well, these dudes be out here Robin Hood themselves, okay? But literally be Robin the Hood, all right? Taking from this woman, that woman, and this woman to build themselves together, like build a woman. I'm gonna not curse, but y'all know what I want to say. Build a bear, but with the other word, the other B word. So you trying to build together up, okay? And you telling me you spent all these years trying to piece together these little pieces of a woman. And what happens, sir, when you come across a woman that can do all those things? You know, you don't need your separate woman to cook you a meal during the day. You don't need your separate woman to get you gifts and get you clothes and make you look all fancy and real nice and dressed up. You don't need another woman to handle whatever you want to handle in your life because you've already got one solid woman to stand on. Yeah, I guess I run away scared too. Anyways, so because they're just not mentally or haven't ever been exposed to that, I guess that's the excuse that I've gotten majority of the time. Like they're not mentally or haven't ever been exposed to that, so they don't know how to handle it. Like the same kind of scenario, if you pray for something and it shows up, well, you also didn't pray for the means to be able to care for that thing that you were praying for. You didn't pray for the discernment to know how to properly take care of it. You didn't pray to know, you know, what things you need to do to keep that energy in your life once you found it. So now you've let your whole blessing walk away about your life. Poof, it's gone. But you sad though, and you mad and butthurt about it. So you're gonna make up stuff just to cover it up and run away from the situation. Once again, I don't care what shape or form. I don't care how old this person is in your life. I've seen it come from any age, right? It's just what happens. So at the end of it all, if you're anything like me, there's no spin in the block, right? Like spin the block, no. I will not spin no block with you, sir. I will be so gone up out your reality so vast you will never see or hear from me ever again, okay? Moving on. How to protect yourself. Okay, so yes, this is in conclusion. How to protect yourself from spiritual warfare. And I'll just simply leave you with this simple parting word, okay, you guys? You guys are allowed to be in love with your own life, right? Don't ever apologize or feel the need to over-explain anything in regards to your peace. I don't care if it's your mom calling you every day, asking you why their daughter doesn't check in, why their son is so just misbehaving, why you can't just behave, right? Like, I don't care. Your peace of mind is priceless. You can't put a dollar amount to that, okay? Literally, like, don't give up your peace for anything or anyone. That is my most finite piece of advice, okay? If you're still here to this point in this message, I just need you to know you are a star, a freaking rock star, okay? These Decepticons and these Agent Smiths only want you to feel alone and unwanted and as if no one cares about you or no one sees you. That's their only job, their only duty. All right, that's why the energy can bounce and transfer to different beings, to different bodies, because they know your goal in this life. They know what you're meant to accomplish. And I want you, I don't care if your voice shakes, I want you to speak up. All right, now if you feel like you need a third party in your specific situation to speak up with you, do that. Go ahead, get someone else to be a mediator in the situation and protect yourself that way, right? Especially if, you know, anything is real dark and heavy. But aside from that, you are not alone. I will keep reminding you. You are just simply not alone. None of what they want you to feel is the truth. You have your own lane. You have your own purpose, okay? And it is going to be unlike anyone else's. So just know you're destined for greatness. And those bridges that you had to burn, those bridges of deception that you have to burn them down with no fear. Be fearless, okay? I'm rooting for you. And we're all rooting for you, okay? I just need you to start walking in your truth, babes. Men, women, I know I've got all different genders in this community, all right? He, she, they, them, whatever. I love you guys all. And I just want you to know that your truth, it's the most powerful thing this world has and will ever see. All right, you're beautiful. We are many. You are not alone. I'm going to wish you all a peace and blessings for this good night, good evening, good morning, midday, whenever it is the heck that you are catching this podcast. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. All right. One people, one love.